Income inequalities, they are the outcomes of free market economy. It does not mean that this is the result of market failure. Keep it in mind what is meant by market failure. When market forces are unable to deliver economic efficiency, so they will fail. Like we studied in the case of non-provision of public goods, under-provision of merit goods, over-provision of demerit goods. In your syllabus of AS Economics, we have these reasons of market failure. So this is not the reason of market failure. This is an outcome that some people in free market economy, they are richer than others. Okay, so this is an outcome. Some are having more sources of earning, some have more inheritance income from their forefathers. Clear? Or sometimes we save money at work and a person at work. What do we mean by person at work? I am working over here and earning income. If I run a project which brings me money, that is money at work. Okay. So there are different reasons how people earn. They have more sources of income or they have more access to the sources of income. That's why they become richer and others become poor. Okay. Now how can we say what is the method or measurement of these income and wealth inequalities? We know the difference between income and wealth. Income means the flow of earning. That every month we get the salary, or every weekend the workers are getting the wages. Okay, so these are the incomes. But wealth is that which is the stock of earnings, like in the form of our assets, in the form of properties, in the form of our different valuable assets which will bring us future income. Actually, wealth will have more future income. Okay, like any saving deposit account will bring earnings in the form of interest to that account holder in the saving account, and a thing which is and a money which is invested in the form of a business, so that will also generate income for the enterprise or entrepreneur. So we say income inequalities are present. There are two ways of measuring the income inequalities. One is the graphical representation. There are two ways to measure income inequalities. One is graphical representation, another is the numerical measure. Alright? So graphical representation can be shown by the Lorentz curve, and the numerical measure by Gini Coefficient. Okay, so I am going to explain these two. In our syllabus, as I gave you instructions, Cambridge has only introduced the Gini Coefficient, not the Lorentz curve, but we will study in line with the Lorentz curve how Gini Coefficient can be calculated, or it is the tool of measurement of income inequalities. Now Lorentz curve will measure the income inequalities by showing a data in the form of a graph. Okay, do you have any idea about cumulative percentage? Mathematics, cumulative percentage. Okay, now I will use that in order to explain the things. Now see, first of all I am going to explain the Lorentz curve. Okay, this is a rectangle where the opposite sides are equal. Okay, now see, this rectangle cumulative percentage of population and cumulative percentage of national income, you can say, or income. Okay, so this rectangle is divided into two equal halves by drawing a diagonal line. What is a diagonal line? If you connect these two corners of these two corners, I am connecting these two corners. So this is a diagonal line. It has divided the whole rectangle into two equal parts. What does this line is showing us? That if I say 50% of population is having the 50% of national income. So this line is called what? Equality line. If a country is operating along this line, so it have more equal or fair distribution of income. That 50% of population is having 50% of income, 10% of population is earning the 10% of income, 100% is having 100% of income. So this line is actually, the diagonal line is showing us equality line. But the data shows, the real data shows that this is not the case in any of the country. Country's income level is lying away from this equality line. Clear? Now I am going to draw the Lorentz curve, what it actually says. Now see over here. This is the Lorentz curve. What does it represent? It says instead of 50% of population is having 50% of income, in reality it is only maybe 20% of income. Clear? It is not the case that 10% of population is earning or owning the 10% of national income. It is having less than that. So it means income inequalities are present. The top rich percent, the top 10% of population is owning more than 70 or 80% of income, whereas the lower 10% of population, they are owning only 2 or 3% of national income. So there is a huge gap between the rich and poor. The top income groups, they are owning more. You can find this thing in many of the developing countries, even in our neighboring country, in our country. Wealth is concentrated into few hands. Some are very, very rich and others are having even no basic necessities of life to be fulfilled within their income. So they are having dire poverty. So we need to have more equal. Now see over here. If this Lorentz curve is becoming closer to the equality line, we have more equality or fair distribution of income. Okay, as it goes away from the equality line, so we say we have more unequal or unfair distribution of income. It is, if it is like here, then all the income is held by a single person in a country and all other people, the rest of the population is having zero income. This is perfect income inequality. What does it mean? That if one person of our country is owning all the 100% of income and all other people, they are having zero income, does it happen in any of the country? This is perfect income inequality. Another case is that everyone is having equal income. It is also not existing. There are two extremes. Okay? So one person, if he is owning all the income, that's one extreme, and then another is that everyone is having equal distribution of income or fair. So both are not existing. Now what is the Gini coefficient? What is the Gini coefficient, which is your part of syllabus now? Now see, there are two areas in this diagram. One area below this diagonal line. Okay, one area is that between diagonal line and Lorentz curve, that is called area B. Okay, so Gini coefficient that is measured by area A divided by area A plus B. Clear? Now, if this Lorentz curve is becoming closer and closer to the equality line, area A will be decreasing. It is going closer to 0, you can say. The denominator will increase. Okay? So, when numerator is less, we have the value of Gini closer to 1, maybe 0.2, 0.1. If this area does not exist, that Lorentz curve is having the same position as the diagonal line, then area A will be 0. So 0 means 0 over the whole area, A plus B, A is already 0, then the value of Gini will be 0. It means that is perfectly, income is fairly distributed. If value of Gini is 0 or closer to 0, we have less and less income inequalities. Now see, if this Lorentz curve is along this axis, the whole area is now area A. Now B is finished, it is removed. Area A divided by area A. What will be the answer now? 1. So 1 means one person is having all the income, there is perfect income inequalities. It means the value of Gini is lying between 0 and 1. If the value of Gini is closer to 1, the country will have more unequal distribution of income, and if its value is closer to 0, then it has more equal distribution of income. For example, in our case of Pakistan, we have the value of Gini coefficient as 0.3. Okay? In America, it is 0.4 or more than 0.4. It means we have only 30% of income inequalities. How much income inequalities are there? 30% of our income that is unequally distributed, and the remaining part is having more fair distribution of income. So we see this number is closer to 0, below 0.5. So it shows that more fairness in the distribution of income because people are having more charities in the Islamic country. In Islamic countries we have less unequal distribution of income. And if this value is growing above 0.5, okay, so in that case the income inequalities like 0.7 means 0.7 more income inequalities. Only a few people are having more income, and the most 70% of population is poor in the sense they are not having fair distribution of income, and only the 30% they are having more control over the national income. So Gini coefficient value lies in between 0 and 1, and how can we reach closer to 0? By the redistribution of income. The redistribution of government policies by using, you can say, progressive taxation and reducing the regressive taxes, like indirect taxes if they are reduced, and income taxes they become more progressive to the rich people, then we can have more fair distribution or equal distribution of income, or providing more generous benefits to those who are not having income or less income, or providing education and training to the workers if they are unemployed and they become poor. So by providing education and training, if they get employed, so they will be able to earn more income, and as a result we have more fair distribution or equal distribution of income, and our Lorentz curve position will become closer to the equality line. Okay, in case of Islamic country, you can say more altruism, like people are having more sadaqat, charities and zakat system in order to redistribute income from rich to poor, and that will also reduce income inequalities, and that will also increase the aggregate demand in the country, because poor people have more tendency to consume more rather than to save more. Rich people have more tendency to save more proportion of income. Rich people, they are able to save and consume less, whereas poor people, they have more tendency to consume their income, even sometimes more than their income. They borrow money from other people as well. Clear? So this is about the Gini coefficient, how income inequalities are measured by using a numerical value. This is not part of your syllabus right now, but it is good to learn the things. Okay? So that's all. Our unit 3 is completed. You can see around which topic, if any topic is left over in your unit 3, I will complete it by tomorrow. And now we will be practicing for our mid-year exams.